I never expected to be running to be a councillor, especially after leaving the Labour Party last year, and particularly before actually graduating. Were it not for my branch organiser happening across the news of the by-election, I wouldn't be sitting here as a candidate at all. I haven't been a member of the party for too long. I only joined the night before the general election, after having left the Labour Party months and months before. So naturally I was reluctant to put myself forward to be a candidate, considering how briefly I'd been in possession of a membership card. But after thinking about it for a while, it actually made a lot of sense for me to stand as the candidate in this by-election for Thorniewood. My area is a deprived one, falling behind the Scottish average on basically every measure, from education to welfare to health. Working class people are not getting a good deal in my area, in most senses you can possibly imagine. The roads we drive on our estate, our local amenities are underfunded, our children's play areas are unsafe, our sports facilities are poorly maintained, and the schools our children learn in are built on land that we don't own, maintained by staff we don't employ because of private finance initiatives, and are facing dropping teacher numbers because of a starved council budget. The equal opportunities that are needed for a fairer society aren't being provided here, and that needs to change. However, considering the tribalistic and unproductive nature of the SNP versus Labour feud that we have in North Lanarkshire, that doesn't seem likely to change unless we can convince voters in the area to vote for something new. On one side, we have the SNP, who have created much of the financial shortage in North Lanarkshire by cutting budgets, freezing council tax and underfunding the anti-bedroom tax policy by less than half of what is needed to sort it. On the other side, we have an already defensive and entrenched Labour Party, made even worse by the current political climate, who would rather point fingers and blame the SNP than offer to sit down and come to some kind of productive alternative to the current state of affairs. You don't need to guess who and what get caught in the crossfire as a result of this. It's local people and the services we need and deserve. I don't know whether I find it more amusing or more infuriating that the SNP candidate is claiming that the problems are created by the Labour Party's austerity agenda, when it was them that caused the funding problems in the first place. I'm at my wit's end with a Labour Party which has become so used to controlling North Lanarkshire that they haven't needed to be innovative or passionate for decades, and instead of defying the Tory and nationalist cuts alike, they have implemented them and shrugged when they are accused of wrongdoing, opting to blame it on everyone else but them. I won't stand for it any longer, because this toxic politics isn't delivering the kind of results that local communities need. This is why we need socialists in local government. We need people who are willing to stand up against ideologically driven and politically motivated austerity. Reverse the damage which has been done by cuts to local services, invest in local people and communities, and advocate for a progressive, income-based alternative to the unfair council tax, which will rectify our local authorities' funding problems and allow us to provide the equality of opportunity that socialists strive towards, so that we can create a fairer society for all. That's why my candidacy makes sense to me. I know what my area needs, I know where the problems are, and I know how we have been let down. I know, having been a member for several years, that the local Labour Party lacks the drive and the ambition to stand up for local people the way they should. And I know that the SNP are not the progressive alternative that they make themselves out to be. The Scottish Socialist Party has the right ideas. They help begin the process of building a fairer local politics and to make our communities better for regular working class people. And I'm proud to be standing as a socialist candidate in an area that needs socialist ideas and principles now more than ever.